Hi, and welcome to Temple Street, the show brought to you by the Department of Communication and Journalism. I'm Alex Mellion.
And I'm Ashley O'Donnell. On today's show, we take a look at a local student's designated driver business, a new entrepreneur center here at Suffolk, and get some tips on how to live on a budget during these hard economic times.
We will also talk to Suffolk's very own Karate Kid, watch a reporter channel his inner diva, and end as always with our critic at large, Andrew Leche.
But first, the news. Breast cancer is now the second leading cause of cancer deaths among women. Suffolk University is honoring Breast Cancer Awareness Month by teaching students how to make small changes to their daily routine that could be potentially life-saving in the future. Reporters Julianne Capello and Lindsay Goldstein have the story.
In an attempt to draw attention to common toxins that might be contributing to the risk of breast cancer, Suffolk University held a Safe Cosmetics seminar hosted by the Health and Wellness Center. Elizabeth Hines, the director of Health and Wellness Center, is an advocate for using safe alternatives to the more commonly used products that could be harmful to our bodies.
The Safe Cosmetics movement ties into Breast Cancer Awareness Month because the FDA actually isn't able to regulate what goes into our health and beauty products, including cosmetics. So shampoos, soaps, body wash, conditioners, things like that, and the makeup that we put on our faces every day. The FDA has no regulation over it. So really companies can put whatever they want into these products.
In the seminar held on campus, Hines showed students how through making simple changes, they can maintain a healthier lifestyle and reduce their risk of breast cancer. This includes preparing simple recipes with inexpensive and natural ingredients, such as chocolate, to replace the older artificial ones. Jessica Mole, a student who attended the seminar, was shocked to learn about the toxic products she had been using for years. She was eager to try the chocolate facial mask, one of the many recipes students at the seminar got the chance to try. Mole told us that the mask made her skin feel refreshed and was stunned that it consisted mostly of chocolate.
So I just took off the mask and my skin feels like really soft, and the girl in the bathroom said my skin actually looked really, really good.
Studies have shown that breast cancer can be caused by anything from what we eat to what we apply in our skin, nails, and hair. Hines informs us it's never too early to educate students about ways to prevent breast cancer.
Sometimes as a young person, it's hard to think about things like breast cancer. Like, I won't even have to worry about that till I'm 50 or get my first mammogram or things like that. But breast cancer is actually happening in a younger and younger population. So it's really important to just kind of, study up and do a little research and think about what preventative things you can do now, to not only, just prevent breast cancer, but just make yourself healthier across the board.
In honoring Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Suffolk University strives to keep students conscious and informed on what they can do to ensure a cancer-free future. Reporting for Temple Street, this is Julianne Capello.
For more information on breast cancer awareness and how to make your own natural products, visit safecosmetics.org.
A local college student with a passion for entrepreneurship has created a buzz around his new business, helping young people literally overcome their buzz. Reporter Jennifer Dwyer and I filed this story.
When you go out on the town and plan on drinking, it could sometimes be a hassle, not to mention dangerous, to get you and your car home at the end of the night. Instead of driving drunk, some people are getting home in their own cars with the help of Raymond McGuire and Joe Stokes, founders of Boston's Designated Driver.
We drive drunk people home at the end of the night.
I had the idea in an entrepreneurial thinking class and got a small loan and put the business into works.
Bentley University, where the two met, is one of the leading business schools in the Northeast. Raymer is currently a senior and Joe is a recent graduate.
Say you go out to the bar and you plan on just having 1 or 2 beers and you think you'll drive. You don't want to take a taxi, the T's closed early, and you're having a good time and you want to drink more. Well, then you can give us a call and line up a ride.
A lot of people, they go out once or twice a week and they need some way to get their car home that's more reliable than a taxi or the T.
The company opened its car doors to the public on January 1st, 2010, and is the first designated driving service in Boston.
So we have 2 kinds of drivers. We have primaries who are driving customers' cars home. So they're over 25, they have great driving backgrounds, background checks, they all they're all good. And then we have secondary drivers who drive their own cars around.
Mark Lutz, one of the company's most popular primary drivers, has been with the service since its inception.
We will take a phone call from, say a patron in Faneuil Hall, and we'll go pick up the patron and go over our waiver agreement, which would, be like go over, make sure they have insurance and all of that. And once that happens, then we can start off the ride. And based on the mileage, we'll just take them to their destination, and then that's how we charge them, is all about the mileage. And at that point, we drop them off at their house. I get picked up by a secondary driver, and then we're on to the next ride.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, nearly 12,000 people were killed in 2008 in alcohol-related car accidents. McGuire and Stokes say they wanted to create a service that will give bargoers a convenient option to prevent them from getting behind the wheels after drinking. In an effort to spread awareness of drunk driving, they have worked to create partnerships with local bars.
And our first partner was Tommy Doyle's, and then we grew from one with Tommy Doyle's into, I think we're up to 10 different partners now.
I am told by many of them that they've drinking and driven before, and this is the first time they've made a smart decision, and they're joining the movement of ending drinking and driving.
For Temple Street, I'm Alex Million.
For more information on this service, please visit their website at bostonsdd.com.
A new center at the Sawyer Business School is making headlines and already producing a new generation of innovative minds. Lexi Zenner and Angela Christoforos report.
After years of developing and encouraging entrepreneurial projects within the business school, Suffolk University is finally opening its Center for Entrepreneurial Studies. Students and professors from across the campus celebrated the grand opening of the center this fall at the Sawyer building and say that even Harvard University is now looking to implement components of the Suffolk program into their curriculum.
The first week was a gigantic success. Every minute we were open, we had our entrepreneurship students there working on the projects from their various classes. And that's the idea, is to provide resources and space for them to work, because throughout the entrepreneurial program there's an awful lot of coordination and collaboration that goes on, not just within a particular class but between classes.
The growing number of entrepreneurial success stories such as Candy.com, Ideology, CoopMe, CardStar, and Sumo Skidney have transformed this small academic program into one of Suffolk's hottest majors. The entrepreneurship major is different from any other major, with its unique balance between the classroom and the business world. The program's leading professors say it gives students the hands-on experience they need to be fully prepared to handle business in the real world.
Lots of people who come to Suffolk choose entrepreneurship at Suffolk because it is such a hands-on major, because there is so much work. You can start in your first of your 5 classes and identify a project that you want to work on, and you can take that work across all of your classes and really be ready to launch.
Suffolk alumni Andy Miller was certainly prepared for the business world when he invented CardStar, an app that allows consumers to store the barcodes of membership and rewards cards on their smartphones.
All of those affinity cards that you carry around on your keychain or in your wallet. He said, I don't want to carry around 40 different cards. What can I do to create an app so that I could get all of them onto my phone?
CardStar exemplifies the endless possibilities of turning a little idea into a big successful business venture. Currently, this little gizmo has the highest rate of scanning success than any other app on the market. One of the center's flagship projects is the New Product Innovation Competition. In this contest, the Entrepreneurial Center gives students an opportunity to compete for a $25,000 seed capital for developing a business proposal to launch a new product. Last year's winner, Lexi Zenner, developed a biodegradable alternative called Taterware
to replace plastic, styrofoam, and current polystyrenes. And it's was really awesome to win, and it's currently in the process of production. It'll take probably about 3 years until it's officially on the market.
Another student success, Audrey Fakori, has taken what he's learned from entrepreneurship at Suffolk to create Socks for Vets, a service campaign to provide homeless war veterans with warm socks.
A socks manufacturing company which wholesaled socks, and our assignment was to sell as many units as possible to the greatest number of people for the greatest gross margin.
The Center for Entrepreneurial Studies and the New Product Innovation Competition have already created a surge of entrepreneurial successes at Suffolk, but professors and students at the Sawyer School say the best is yet to come. For Temple Street, I'm Angela Christoforos.
I wonder what the next big product coming out of Suffolk is going to be.
Well, not everyone can start their own business while still in school. But thanks to our reporters Amy Gibson and Andrew Lecce, we found out some ways to save money during these tough economic times in this week's Speak Out.
My best money-saving tip. Public transport.
My best money-saving tip would have to go for everything is just don't buy what you don't need. Like when you go to Macy's, do you really need that second pair of shoes when you have 32 already? Do you need to go to Subway when you can just pack a lunch? These tips are really important and they'll help you save like $1 every day.
My best money-saving tip is to use the Suffolk dining halls and use your RAM card instead of going out and buying food.
Have some budget for every month, cause when you buy something, give you several minutes to think about it whether you really need that thing. Yeah.
Keep my change in my pocket, I guess. I don't know.
Going to BJ's or places like that and buying in bulk. Taking your lunch to work instead of buying lunch every day.
Don't have children.
Oh, that's very good. Why not?
Because it cost £100,000 from the age of birth to 18, and I've got 4 of them.
Brewing my own coffee at home and bringing it to school.
I'd say just be sure to put something away every single week. If it's $20, $10, just keep putting something away every single week.
Like Nike, just do it.
Just do it?
Do it. I mean, you know what's coming in, you know what you gotta, if you know what the budget is, you gotta know to set aside certain money. You leave money for spending, you leave money for saving, then you put like a little bit away just in case you're spending money, you run through that, you got something else on the side to fall back on without having to touch your actual saving.
I'm definitely going to keep some of those tips in mind when I start my holiday shopping. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after a short break with an interview with a martial arts champion, a drag performance, and Critic's Corner with Andrew Lecce.
The magical thing about using energy wisely is that anyone can do it. Turn off lights. Use energy-saving light bulbs. And turn off computers and game systems when not in use. Make a change and we can really fly. Grab a grown-up and go online to energy.gov/kids.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Okay, everyone, we have a lot to cover this morning. Tim should be here any second with the latest budget numbers to take us through the initial schedule for production and...
Ow. This is one way to avoid getting the H1N1 flu virus.
Oh, whoopsie daisy. All right, good morning. Let's get this meeting started.
For some better ways, visit flu.gov.
Anyone have a tissue?
Joining us next is Jerry Dwyer Jr., a world champion martial artist who balances competing around the country while being a full-time Suffolk senior. His sister, Temple Street reporter Jennifer Dwyer, hosted him in our studio.
Welcome, Jerry. Thank you for coming in today. It's a pleasure to have a champion martial artist as well as my brother in the studio.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you here. Why don't you start off by telling us the style of martial arts that you do?
The style of martial arts I train in is called Chung Kuk Do. It was started by Chuck Norris. It's Korean style. It means the universal way. Since I've started in that, I also got into training in XMA, which is short for extreme martial arts, basically just combining traditional karate with aspects of acrobatics and even some contemporary dance. It's all very performance-based martial arts.
And you've been competing for a while now, so have you been traveling to different places? Where have you been going?
Yeah, I started competing in 2006 in Las Vegas. Our organization, UFAF, has an annual championship every year. Since then, I've also been to a lot of local tournaments. Went to a tournament in Pittsburgh this past year. I went to a tournament in New York just about a month and a half ago. So trying to get out there as much as I can.
And this past July was a really good year for you out at the training convention in Las Vegas. You took first place in the men's open forums. So why don't you just tell us about open forums, what that's...
So what I was talking about before, XMA, Extreme Martial Arts, open forums is basically a division for people who practice that. So when you go to a tournament, there's fighting, there's weapons, there's forms. For weapons and forms, there's the traditional side, old school, Korean forms already made up. Then there's open or creative divisions where you basically choreograph your own form and you throw in a lot of jump kicks, jump, spinning, flipping maneuvers, stuff you'd see in like The Matrix. And so that's my favorite aspect of martial arts competition. So when I compete, I typically do open form and open weapon. So just really fast, dynamic routines. In Vegas, this was my second year competing in the open division. Last year in 2009, it was my first time competing in that division. I took last. I had some really tough competition. And these are guys that I've watched compete for years, so going into it, I knew what I was up against. This year, I came back with some new techniques I've been working on, choreographed a new form, had some more competition experience under my belt, got out there, and it was really close between me and the guy who took second, but finally beat him, finally took first, and then I got to compete in the overall grands, which was just an awesome experience. So, just getting out there in front of, I just love that feeling of being there in front of the judges, in front of the audience, get that adrenaline going. So it was just it was an exciting, overall it was a great event this year, but it was really exciting for me being able to take first in open.
It was a very good year for you. Well, being your sister, I know how many hours you put in down the studio, not only training, but instructing as well. So how do you balance being at the studio all the time, but also being a full-time student at Suffolk?
It's definitely a challenge. I set up my schedule so that I have 2 or 3 days of the week where I'm here at Suffolk doing all my classes, and then on my off days, I'm at the studio teach everyone, little kids to adults, teenagers, all levels, beginners, black belts, and I train on my own, just doing endurance stuff at the gym and training for upcoming tournaments at the studio. And then when I'm not there, I'm at school. I'm a film major and minoring in psychology, so I have a lot of film projects and stuff that I work on, so it's that's very time consuming here at Suffolk. But it's hard to balance, but I enjoy both. I love being a student right now, but it's definitely, for a martial artist, I want to be able to train, I want to be able to sleep, stick to my workout routine. But as a student, I'm pulling all-nighters, spending all my money on books, so I got to really work hard to save up for tournaments and stuff. It's a tough balance, but it's fun.
So being in the city of Boston, every now and then you hear things about students who are maybe attacked by someone on the street or just find themselves in situations where self-defense would be something that they should know. So do you have any sort of tips you could give students that are out in the city if they find themselves in a situation where they might have to use self-defense?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Self-defense, usually when I talk to students at the studio, like we talk to little kids about stranger danger and bully self-defense, which are totally different. You don't want to beat up the bully. You want to just use your words. But with stranger danger, anything goes. So we talk about, like, let's say someone comes up behind you, gets you in a bear hug. Simplest thing to do to get out of that is to work with what you have. So like if you can get a hold of something, like someone's pinky, doesn't matter how big or tough the person is, this is going to hurt. So you just pull it, break it, whatever it takes to get away. I mean, there's definitely stuff that I know about, like certain pressure points and stuff, but a lot of it's, kind of common sense. Someone grabs you by the wrist, you don't try to break away that way, go with the opening. Buy a taser. That's always an option. Just be aware of your surroundings. Don't put yourself in a situation that you might be vulnerable in. Don't wander dark alleyways at night. Stay with a group. The buddy system. I'm a big fan of the buddy system, and stay in well-lit areas, and just be aware of your surroundings. And don't be afraid to use resources such as Suffolk Police, 911, and breaking the pinky when you need to.
And prevention's the best medicine, so if you can
Absolutely.
avoid the situation altogether.
Absolutely. If you feel uncomfortable in a situation, the best thing to do is just respond to that and don't let it escalate. Don't let yourself, absolutely, prevention.
So, as you say, you're a film student here, and where do you see the future going? Do you see yourself eventually focusing more on martial arts, or maybe going in the route of film, or combining them?
Combining them is definitely my goal. I'm actually working on a film project right now for an independent study that combines, it's a film about psychology, like a guy in counseling who had injury from martial arts. So I'm just combining all my favorite aspects of my life right now in there. Ideally, I love, like I mentioned, the performance aspect of martial arts. So, and film is a great media to kind of showcase that. So I think there's a lot of potential in the film industry for kind of showcasing martial artists and their abilities, because there's this whole world of, underground martial arts training, tournaments, these phenomenal athletes that, aside from dedicated martial artists and fans who go to tournaments, no one really knows anything about it. And it's definitely something that's kind of starting to come into its own, and I think that ideally I'll find a way to use film to showcase that. Not just my own martial art abilities, but just other martial artists and kind of telling their stories.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of options, whatever you decide to do. So, best of luck with your project and future competitions. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Thanks
I'm
for coming in.
Excited.
And back to you in the studio.
Well, it looks like I know who to go to if I ever need backup on campus.
Not that you need it, Alex.
The third annual Drag Performance 101 workshop was co-sponsored this October by Suffolk's Performing Arts Office and the Rainbow Alliance. As a dare this year, Temple Street reporter Eric Hurt took one for the team and got in touch with his feminine side. Here is the story.
Drag performer William York, aka Crystal Crawford, is a proud Suffolk alumnus. He is also proud to be a working man by day and diva by night. Drag, he says, is a form of art and an essential part of his personality.
We are all born naked. Anything we decide to represent ourselves after that is drag. Because drag is a persona. It's a perception that you want people to believe.
To get in touch with my inner queen, William was kind enough to teach me the ins and outs of drag performing in a 2-day crash course of the 3-week workshop. In the workshop, students are taught everything from applying makeup to dressing as the opposite sex, all leading up to a grand performance for fellow students here at Suffolk.
And within those 3 workshops, they have got to come out of their shell, be well enough to perform in front of the small group.
As I soon learned, a drag show requires more than just performing in front of the group.
Drag queen performances differ from, let's say, theater performances because you're right enmeshed with the audience.
2010 Suffolk grad Mark Piccarillo participated in the drag workshop as a student and is now performing professionally as Starla Perel. This year, Rosemary Callahan Gray was the only student who officially participated in the workshop and the performance.
It's a real way to just throw yourself out there and do something crazy. Once you do this, you can basically do anything.
Although Rosemary was the only participant in the workshop, she was not the only student to take the stage. After some coaxing from my fellow reporters, I dolled myself up and embraced my inner woman. And if I may say so objectively, I look good. The audience was pleasantly surprised to not only watch the show, but become a part of it.
I thought it was great. It was very entertaining. It was a lot of open. I like how open it was.
During the workshop, I found out that drag is an acronym dating back to Shakespearean theater, meaning dressed as girl. With my newfound knowledge, maybe I'll do an encore performance next year, just for the fun. For Temple Street, I'm Eric Hurt.
Thanks, Eric. I'm sure your rendition of Oops, I Did It Again would make Britney Spears proud. To get more drag action, take a trip down to Jacques, located in the Theater District, for a performance every night of the week from 10 to midnight.
Now for this week's Critics Corner, we'll hear from Andrew Leche about... What are we talking about today, Leche?
Let me take care of this, Alex. Too kind. The election is over. Political craziness is behind us. And we have time to devote to our favorite topic, redonkulous exercise machines. As we do with everything in America, we've gone to some crazy extremes. Let us remember how this whole exercise infomercial world has gotten started. Ever since Olivia Newton-John was driving the world physical and getting physical, the ad executives realized that they could use a television box to sell stupid crap if they only showed famous people exercising on these so-called miracle devices. Olivia, of course, led to my good friends Chuck, Christy, and Wesley doing this ridiculous advertisement. Especially Chuck Norris, who was such a great actor, and career culminated with him doing push-ups, where he wasn't even pushing himself up, but pushing the earth down. Or when Chuck Norris counted to infinity, twice. He ended up with this? Well, to be perfectly honest, Chuck Norris isn't even buff. His muscles are just too scared to develop. Chuck did us all a great favor by making ridiculous infomercials that would lead to my personal favorite, the Hawaii chair.
Hi, I'm Erin Lee with Perfect USA, and today we've brought the Hawaii chair to a very busy work environment. Let's get some first-time reactions.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
That feels great on my abs.
I can really feel this working.
Hawaii chair while answering phones, using the computer, balancing books, or filing paperwork.
Take the work out of your workout. The Hawaii chair.
Oh, what a good song. The good old Hawaii chair was not only extremely disrespectful to the good old people of Hawaii, it made no physical sense. It only made you feel a little funny. I know this because I still have my Hawaii chair. And those were the worst 3 installments for $99 I've ever spent. Well, actually, maybe that's not true. I also made the mistake of getting this ridiculous Hannibal Lecter mask that supposedly made my face prettier.
Generated by a tiny 9-volt battery from the control unit. These impulses are directed to the specially designed gold-plated facial cushions of the patented facial mask.
Well, how does this mask do that?
Well, if you can get the idea of what doing 8 setups a second would do for your stomach, you have an idea of what Rejuvenic would do for your face. Because in essence, Rejuvenic does for the face what exercise does for the body.
What? I'm a celebrity. That's what us celebrities do. But let's face it, it all comes down to one product, the effing Shake Weight.
Shake Weight for Men, the revolutionary new upper body device that targets your biceps, triceps, shoulders, and chest in only 6 minutes a day.
30 seconds, pull on this and I'll go on the end. This is not easy.
Night, powerful, fast upper body muscle activity. T, use it for just 1 minute and you'll know. The Shake Weight.
I don't think I can make any joke that hasn't already been made about the Shake Weight's overt sexual motion. I mean, really, I get it that sex sells, but this is stupid. My unborn children could be watching this. Oh, my Shake Weight kid. Instead of exercising uncontrollably or trying different things that are just going to end up below your bed and making your wallet that many dollars lighter, you should just follow the advice of one of our great professors here at Suffolk University, Sushil Bhatia, who believes the best exercise is laughter. It's not only handy and relaxing, but for those living on a budget, it's also free.
Ooh, ha, 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 ooh, ha, 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 ha. And that opens up people very quickly. And some people always say, how can I laugh without any jokes? So we say, well, you fake it till you make it.
Till you make it. That does it for me.
That does it for this edition of Temple Street. I'm Alex Mellion.
And I'm Ashley O'Donnell. See you next time.